This is the ARTvocates podcast, brought to you by Streets Projects Foundation, Enugu Youth Entrepreneurship Network, supported by Voice Global.
This is the ARTvocates podcast.
There's one thing that is more influential than all. Now, this thing is not found on social media. It's not found in Silverbed cinemas or in the latest news or the latest gist in town. It's something that we don't really talk about, and it's something we don't really pay much attention to, and I feel it affects us a lot. According to Pope John the 23rd, the family is the first essential cell of human society. Hello there, welcome to the Advocacy Podcast once again, which is brought to you by Street Project Foundation and Enugu Youth Entrepreneurship Network, supported by Voice. My name is Daniel Baku, and I am your host for today. I am not alone in the studio. I have with me
Ijen Maps, and I'm glad to be here.
Tosin Babalola.
Welcome, guys. Today we'll be talking about the role of family in nation building. Now, I believe that family is the basic unit of our society. It is considered the front line of security in our nation. And I believe family is like the feet, or will I say the root of our society, because a lot of us, we testify that we are products of the home that we came from. So, Ijen Maps, I would like to hear from you. What are your thoughts on family being an important role in our society?
Family actually is a very important role. Is a very, very important role in the life of almost every individual, and very, very important role in the society, because we all get to grow up with certain values. You didn't just get to grow up and then you were like, oh, I'm a Christian. No, your family actually taught you that you were a Christian. Your family taught you that Sundays we go to church. Yeah. Your family actually taught you that, oh, when it's 25th of December, I'm on a Christmas.
Yeah.
And so a lot of things we actually grew up to actually know before we started trying it, and then we're like, okay, this thing is not fitting my person. Even if you want to change, we actually learn it from our families. A lot of good traits, even like being transparent, not lying. You already know that if you lie, your family, they don't used to lie, they don't used to steal. You understand? So families they're very, very important. Very, very important in the life of an individual and in the society.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Ijen Maps. I quite agree with what you said. You really touched in some aspect of the effect of what family, how family affects our society in general. I believe a lot of good has come from our families. We have good leaders in our society today who are a product of good families. Now, looking at the other aspect of it, there are a lot of negative things that affect our society also as a result of this topic, family. So, Tosin, what do you think are the effects of family in our society?
Yes, family play an important role in the society, in the sense that, like a map said, we all came from somewhere. So that's basically our roots, our families, where I come from. You know, my mother, my father. It's a mix of norms, a mix of values coming together to determine who I become. And if you check it very well, family is the basic unit of the society, which means that it is whatever everyone learns in the home that is being transmitted when they go to the society. So imagine everyone learns the good norms from each unit of the family, and then the society is going to become a better place if we all get the right values. But when the family is dysfunctional, it means that the society becomes dysfunctional also. So yeah, family plays a very underestimated role in the society.
Beautiful. I love what you said. You say when the family is dysfunctional, the society also becomes dysfunctional. I quite agree, and I agree that a lot of harm have been done in our society as a result of unhealthy families and all that. So moving on, regarding family playing an important role in nation building, there's this area that tends to play an important role also in nation building when we talk about career, because a lot of us as individuals, as products of families, we grow up and choose certain careers that become of good or that lead to the betterment of our society. Most of us becomes doctors, lawyers, politicians, government officials, and all that. But we see in our country, Nigeria, we see how parents play a very strict role in choosing career paths for their kids. And I feel that affects us a lot. So what do you have to say about that, Ijen Maps?
Yeah, I actually feel it's good for parents to guide their children towards the right path. It's very good. But I don't think parents should impose careers on children, because I feel like you have actually groomed your kid. They've actually grown to a certain level, and they go outside and they are also influenced by certain things, and things keep changing. So if your word actually gets to fall in love with another career, but you are basically saying, no, you have to be this because you feel that is the best for your word, I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right, and it causes a lot of it causes a lot of issues, in the sense that people just go into career just to please their families, just to please their mother, just to please their father, and then they don't even get to function properly. You understand? So that's my own take. That's my own take. I don't think parents should really impose careers on their words. Like, if actually someone likes the career path which the parent is saying, okay, go for, they should support that person like that. Just in the same way someone is like, this is what I love. And I think that is one issue that is really, 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 really disheartening in our nation presently, Nigeria. Yes.
Beautiful. I agree with what you said. But on the other hand, I feel a lot of our parents are not well informed, and most of our young people who want to pursue or go for some certain careers are not well informed. Trust me, I know a lot of young people who say, my daddy wants me to become a doctor, but I want to do mass comm. But if you ask them, like, they are not really sure, or they don't even really know what mass comm is about or what art is about. So Tosin, what do you think we should do about it? Or how do you think is the right way to address that issue? Because I feel the problem is being informed. Our parents and the young people are not well informed.
Okay, in that case, I think there's a need for understanding between both persons, between the parent and the child in question. If a parent is saying, go and study this course, you should be able to say, okay, why do you want me to study this particular course? Because, of course, times are changing.
Yeah.
And then I think nowadays, what's actually selling now is tech jobs and the rest. So the parents are blessed with the ability to see into the future, and they can say, this is why you should read this. This is why you should not study this. And if the child is saying, no, I don't want to study this, they should come together to have some sort of understanding. Make me understand why you want to read this course. And then the parents should also be willing to listen to the child. It's the child's passion to do that particular thing. So, and then it's very important. Family support is important. Like the story of Maps. I think he didn't actually say that story. I guess he's going to say that later. And, having issues with support from parents and all of that. It's very, very important. When children have support from parents, it makes the development, the growth of that child to be faster. There's a fast track with that. So Maps, I think you want to share your story with us.
Okay, basically this is my dad. Daddy, I want to do this, and then he's like, no, and then immediately you insist on doing it. No support. Like, he is not supporting you. He doesn't even want to know what's your own reasoning. What do you think? He doesn't even want to get any conversation with you. Like, he's the one in charge. He gave birth to you. So do you want to tell him what to do? So that's just the normal Nigerian parents mentality. Majority, I know there are a few that would say, okay, my son, my daughter, okay, this thing, let's look at it. But a lot of our parents, they don't get to have this good time with us and talk to us, you understand? And also they should also understand the way we feel. Rather, what they mostly understand is the fact that I spent money on you, your clothing, your food, and then you feel you want to come and tell me what
and this is my house. You're living in my house.
That's true. And what I would say is I agree with what Tosin said earlier about most of the decisions that our parents make are out of love. And, them being older, like the wise man say what a old man would see when sitting down, a young person, even they climb the highest mountain. So sometimes we, the young people, need to sometimes pay attention and actually listen to reasons why the parents wants them to go for a particular career, because it's out of love. Most of those decisions or those choices are out of love. Okay, we'll be going on a short music break, and when we come back, we'll be talking about the role of family in nation building more.
Here we stand as a people with one song, with one voice. We're a nation undivided and what is ours. Here we are as a people with one heart for one cause. We're determined to rebuild and restore. Where freedom reigns and truth prevails. Our land where there's hope for us all. Our land where there's hope we're a great nation. Oh, yeah. Ooh.
You are listening to
The ARTvocates podcast.
Welcome back from that short music break. We'll be moving forward to talk more on the role of family in nation building. Earlier, we talked about the role of family in our society and the effect of family in raising individuals. So now we'll move forward to talk about a very sensitive topic, which is violence in our home and how it affects children and how it also affects our society. Tosin, what do you have to say about this?
Yes, violence in the home and how it affects children. I think, especially in Nigeria, I think 1 in 5 homes have had to deal with violence in the home, where you see father and mother fighting, and then the children are left to be, spectators. They stand to see the way the father is beating, different sort of abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse going on. And there's something it does to the psyche of those children. It begins to configure their brain to make them think that that's the normal thing that should occur in the family, which is wrong. And then there's this thing that whatever we all become, our adulthood is actually affected by what happens in our childhood. So that's why I think parents need to be very, very careful, especially when they have children around, to be very careful with violence. It's even wrong to have violence in the house, in the home. And before you know, these same children go out there and repeat the same thing that the mother and the father is doing. That's how you find them go to school and become bullies. They go to school and then, at little ages like that, because that is what they've been taught. That's what they think is right. So I think violence in the family should actually be curbed, because it has a very, very negative effect on the society.
I actually agree with you. Tosin. And violence in the family is really something that it messes with the minds of the young ones and almost every individual in the society. We just take it to be normal. For me, the truth is this. Even when I hear about a man beating his wife, I'm like, how? I don't understand. You say you guys are in love. You guys actually you bonded together, and this is from now till death do you part. And so what was that thing that is that misunderstanding that you can actually just talk?
Like in Africa, they believe unless the man beats his wife, the woman is not going. Some people believe it's a sign of love. Actually, if the man does not beat you, that's timid. And then when especially these men that drink, they believe that if you don't beat that woman, put her in her place, you need to beat her and let her understand that you are the head of the house. Yeah,
that's true. I think our culture in Africa has promoted that kind of relationship in our home, where they believe the man lords over his wife. The father is seen as this
lion of the tribe of his house.
And I am one of the important things some people fail to see is that if you check, a lot of children we see in our society, they watch. We say children are like copycats. Yeah. What they see you do.
Yes. They see. And children of these guys, they're sharp.
Yes. And they carry that same nature or that same habits to their schools. They end up bullying other girls or bullying other boys and all that, because that's what they have seen their father do. So it's a normal thing.
Like the Sylvester case.
Yeah, the Justice for Sylvester case. Yes, it's an eyesore. When I saw that case in the internet, I cried, because it touched me so much to see the length at which bully has become an issue in our country. And this is something that we overlook. We tend to overlook. It's a very important issue and we overlook it.
Yeah,
we really
because
overlook it.
You're going to wonder how, I think Sylvester was 12 when he died. Yeah. And the people that were bullying him should actually be within the range of 15, 16, 15, 14, 15.
Yes, they're still young.
And you wonder how 15-year-old, 14-year-old learn to, poison another person and beat them up. That means they've probably been seeing it in the house. It's what they've been exposed to in the house. Definitely. So when there's violence in the family, your father might feel, whoa, I'm powerful, I'm putting the woman in her place. But you're doing something to that child, to your children, because you don't know the extent of damage that what you're doing can cause. Imagine now, those children, the parents of those children, and did they ever think that their child can kill somebody? That's something that is, we need to actually sit down and deal with these issues.
Yeah.
We need to understand that as parents, we are like a potter. A potter molds, a clay pot. The way he mold, that's what parents are like. They mold children. So, and it is what they see you do that they tend to replicate. So I think we should actually take deliberate steps as parents, as uncles and aunties in the house to, avoid that.
Thank you, Tosin. And I agree with what you said. And another thing that we do not talk about is this issue of boarding school. I personally have my own reservations about it. I don't like the idea at all. Because if we say, if we are putting all the blames on the parents, okay, we say those guys that bullied Sylvester now, maybe they've seen it from their father or they have seen it somewhere. Yeah. I feel another thing is the parents have failed to spend enough time to supervise their kids.
Exactly.
The other day I was talking with a woman and she told me she wants to send her son to the boy was about entering GSS1 and she was like she's going to send him to a boarding school. I'm like, why do you prefer boarding school? And she was like, she just wants the boy to get out of her head so that she can have time for herself to rest.
It's more like a dumping ground.
Yes. So you get so you are neglecting your child because you are giving your child to strangers. I don't want to even go there to talk about the school
in dangerous times like this.
You understand? You trust strangers, and at the end of the day, you know that these strangers will not really look out for your child the way you would look out for your child. I feel the years of a child from 1 year to 20 are very formative and very important stages in anybody's life. And the parents have to be present there every day.
So Daniel, this is what I really think. Parents actually who send their children to boarding school, some of them they feel like they just need time. They just need time. They just want to be alone. Maybe the kids are actually disturbing them in the house, because I hear people say some of those things and they just want to relieve them. At the same time, it's still good. It's still good if parents have that motive of, okay, they want them to be exposed, because most times some of these kids they didn't really grow up in their actually place of like their state of origin. So some of them, they want to send them back to the state of origin so they know the things that actually go on around there. But the thing parents really lack is the fact of when they come back, try to talk to them, try to get that one-on-one with them, because you actually taught them something and they went outside and they're also influenced by something else. So if you don't get to talk to them, they won't open up to you. For me, I think I don't believe that your child can disturb you. If you're not ready for a child, why bring forth children? It's not by force. I love that. It's not by force to have children.
It's not by force.
It's not by force. So if you know that, instead of you to create more problem for the society, please don't give birth to children. It's as simple as that.
That's true.
If you're not ready to train that child, because look at what's this Hush Puppy? Is it not somebody that gave birth to Hush Puppy?
Yeah.
That is doing financial crimes in society. Shino Rambo, the famous thief and all of that. Is it not somebody that gave birth to it? Most of the vices that you have in the world nowadays, it is somebody's children. They came out from homes. So if you can't train your child where you feel you have to go and dump them somewhere, please don't give birth to children. It's as simple as that.
Wow.
And
powerful.
The time that you
Thank
send these children to boarding school, it's usually formative years, like they said, you said, teenagers. And teenagehood is actually one of the most delicate period of growing up. Like, a teenager is somebody that needs total attention. He doesn't understand himself. She doesn't understand herself, because they are now transiting from childhood to adulthood. And then somebody feels that's the best period to send children to boarding house. For God's sake. This is the society that we're dealing with. And then you leave these children to caretakers. You can't train your own child. You are afraid. And then you now give it to wolves outside to train. For crying out loud, please. Let's join hands together to make this country better.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tosin, for that powerful words. I feel this topic, if we continue speaking on it, we will speak for a whole year and we will not end, because it's a very I would say important issue that needs to be talked about. Okay, now moving forward, conclude this podcast. I would like to hear from both of you. What advice would you give to parents in terms of relating with their kids and all that? Agent Maps.
Basically, I'll just direct everything I'm saying here to parents and be very specific about fathers. Fathers, we know you have the power. yes, this is what you say, yes, we should do and we'll do. But please don't go and neglect your child because the person is not doing what you want him or her to do. You mess with a lot in that process. A lot get messed up in that process. They get to meet strangers, they get to meet these, trying to talk their solutions to them, and then they give them negative solutions. And it turns out that we have bad leaders, we have bad society, bad citizens.
Yeah, that's true.
So please, fathers, listen to your children. Take time and talk to them and understand them.
Thank you, Agent Maps. Tosin.
Okay, so I would say it boils down to responsibility. Like for fathers to be responsible for their children, mothers responsible, uncles, aunties, nephews, cousins. Let's understand that it's a joint responsibility. We have to join hands together to make the society a better place. So when I have a child, I should know that, okay, what this child becomes is my responsibility. So I take deliberate actions, deliberate steps to ensure that I raise a good stock for the future. Thank you.
So remember, if you don't do well, they go say you no get home train.
Na so. All right, people. It has been a very fantastic and educative ride on the Advocacy Podcast show. I'm certain this has been very helpful to us all. I've actually learned a lot. A big thanks to my fellow cohorts, my fellow advocates, Ijen Maps and Tosin Babalola. The Advocacy Podcast is proudly brought to you by Street Project Foundation and Enugu Youth Entrepreneurship Network, supported by Voice. A big thanks to our media consultant, podcast curator, Mr. Femi D, for his enormous contribution to the success of this production. Once again, my name is Daniel Bako. Thank you.
Bye.